You got a good story from any cameo from the league from back in the day? Your favorite story?
Gosh, my
an
favorite
NFL player showing up behind the scenes, anything we don't know?
I think
you got a good one
the
for me?
thing for me was that NFL players always came on and they were better than some actors that we had on the show. Because I think they approach it like a game. Like, you was like, all right, this is what you have to do. You just have to react like yourself. And, like J.J. Watt was great, came on, figured out what he was going to do, had to leave set in the middle of shooting. Like, literally, we're doing a scene. He's like, got to go, guys. We're like, wait, where are you going? He's like, got to go work out. So I never had done that before, where in the middle of a scene, a player's like, I got to go find a local gym and got to go.
Did his alarm go off on the phone or something?
It was just like, we were like, where's he going? It's like, yeah, he's got to get that pump on. And, and
he couldn't wait for an hour until the end of the shoot.
But, talking about LeBron, this is what I hear about LeBron. Like, LeBron, an alarm goes off. He's like, he's eating. He's got to go do something. It's like, you got to get in there and just go, So, but every player that we had was really fun. I'm trying to think of Terrell Suggs, my favorite guy that we had on the show.
T-Sizzle.
T-Sizzle comes on the show, and it's like early on in the show. And they don't want to tell him what the scene is. They basically say, Terrell, you just react to Paul. He's throwing a party. He's going to tell you what the party is, and you just react as yourself. Now, I'm freaked out because it's my first year on the show, and the premise of the bit is I'm throwing a white party. Very similar to, what they have goes on in the Hamptons, or what the owner of the Clippers used to do.
Yes.
So a white party, right? So you have to be dressed in white. So Terrell Suggs comes. He's not in white. I'm like, hey, you can't come in. It's a white only party. And so that was the way that we had to start this scene with Terrell Suggs, right? And you saw his eyes going, gunk, and then he figured out, and he was hilarious. And we had this like big long scene. I loved improvising with him. He just got it right away. And Terrell Suggs is the only player who's like, hey, can I come back and just shoot more? We're like, yeah, what do you want to do? We put him in promos because he was just down to have fun.
How about that? What was Marshawn Lynch like? Did he?
Marshawn Lynch probably is the most infamous cameo in the league history, because we shoot this whole show and we have this bit for Marshawn. Can't get in touch with Marshawn. Marshawn's not going to happen. We wrap the show. I am getting ready to get on a plane. I'm going to Europe with my wife. We're taking a break after the shooting of the show. I get a call the night before. Marshawn's in. We have to shoot with Marshawn tomorrow. I'm like, I'm leaving to go to Europe tomorrow. And they're like, we're going to get it done in the morning. You'll still make your flight. Marshawn is coming. So this whole crew, we've all been shut down for a week because the season was over. We rebuild the entire show. We get the whole set ready to go from Marshawn. We're on set waiting. It's super early. And then we found out Marshawn didn't leave his hotel in Seattle. We're like, what? What do you mean? He's like, yeah, no, his agent is freaking out. He can't get in touch with him. He's still in Seattle. We're like, what do you mean? And then this like Ferrari or some fancy car that I'll never be able to afford comes driving in. And who is it? It's Marshawn. And he was playing a joke on his manager. He told his manager, oh, I'm still in Seattle. Like, he had made it. He was on time on the flight, but he just was pranking his manager that he did not get up that morning.
Oh my God.
Then came and then killed it and was hilarious. Well, absolutely amazing. One of my favorite players of all time. But it was like everyone was in such a panic. And his manager, like when that car pulled up and he got out, I was like, hey, I got you. Funny. That was funny, right? That was funny. And everyone's like, it was the best prank I've ever seen.
So you, for a split moment, thought, I just pushed my plans, or I might not make my European vacation flight with my wife.
Yeah, I mean, and also I'm like, and for nothing, to sit in a parking lot in Van Nuys, like, to shoot this scene with like Taco. I will tell you, and this is we were talking about Bomber before, and
yeah.
I was shooting Serge Ibaka's cooking show. Yeah, you heard that right. Serge Ibaka's cooking and interview show. And my favorite moment from that was we have Steve Ballmer on the show. And Serge Ibaka is about to start the interview, and he picks up his card, and he goes, Steve, tell me about Microsoft. And Steve was like, what? He's like, Microsoft, what is Microsoft? and that to me, I was like, this is the owner of your team. It's Microsoft. And then I was like, Serge, this is Microsoft. He's like, oh, you wrote it weird. It looks like Microsoft. I'm like, yeah, it does. It does technically look like Microsoft. All of a sudden became like that college graduation. Did you see that clip of the mispronunciations at the college?
Oh, yeah. It was like a Key and Peele skit. It was like Balake, Aaron, you know. I thought it was a joke. It was not a joke.
It was not a joke.
I saw that. Did you see this clip?
I did not.
Yeah,
no,
these people are coming up and getting their diplomas, and
a
their
person's name is Thomas Michael, and they're like Thomas C. Mukalale. It's nothing.
It was like Adele Dazeem was getting a diploma.
I thought the person doing it was having a stroke because it kept on happening. All the names were the most straight down the middle names. There were nothing confusing about it. And the school was like Thomas Jefferson School, and this guy's name was Thomas Michael, and she couldn't even get that right.
It's insane. That is so. How did Balmer respond to Microsoft?
He's like, "Well, I'll tell you about it. It's the reason why I own your team." Serge Ibaka was not a great one with the follow-ups. We did say, hey, Serge, here's a question. Who's better to work for, Lawrence Frank or Bill Gates? And he's like, oh, Lawrence Frank, 100%. I mean, Bill Gates is insane. And then Bomberbeck, you go to clubs. Like, no, you got to follow up that. You got to follow up that question. How is Bill Gates insane? But that was fun.
Clubs, Microsoft. Oh my God! Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.